Hey guys, I'm Rob, and this is Normal Days Off.
Where were my roasting trays that I brought in? I guess I'm just gonna do this.
Today we're making my personal favorite, my big boy lasagna with eggplant, bolognese, mozzarella, basil, and a bunch of crumb on top.
So first things first, you gotta get something going on. Turn on your oven, and we're just gonna roast. We're gonna sneak eggplants into this. You know, most lasagnas, it's meat sauce and cheese and pasta, but you gotta throw some of these bad boys in there. Well, they're probably the meatiest vegetable, I would say. They're my absolute favorite with beef, is eggplant. So I like to sneak them in there. Nobody even knows that there's eggplant in it for the most part. And it kind of bulks this bad boy up. So maybe you could even make 2 lasagnas. So first thing I do is I just throw on the oven, I don't know, at like 180, 170 or something like that. And you're just gonna cut some nice rounds of eggplant. So literally, don't even like think about it too much. You want them like, I don't know, like the size of your finger or something like that. It's okay if you got extra, whatever, it's not the end of the world. Chances are you'll probably use it. You always think you have enough for lasagna, but you always wind up like a little bit short, I always find. Okie dokie. These big, meaty sponges. We're gonna bake them in the oven with just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt. Don't be shy, because they really like, they soak up a lot of the oil. So just go a little bit crazy on them, it's okay. See, they're already soaking it all up. What do I need next? Oh yeah, salt. Hit them all with a bit of that. Black pepper. No worries. You know what, I'm gonna put some garlic on too. While I got it here. If you ever want to put some garlic on, that's always a good idea. There's gonna be tons of garlic going on later anyway. So let's put a little bit on each one of these guys. Not all of them are gonna get it. No, maybe I'll just do it. Let's just get another one on there. Takes them to the next level. You gotta have garlic. They're gonna be in the oven for, I don't know, maybe like a half hour. So if you're a little worried about the garlic, it's just gonna cook down anyway. All sweet, into the oven. This is the bit that is obviously the star of the show with lasagna. It's the bolognese sauce. Everybody's bolognese is a little bit different. Every region you go to in Italy, it's a little bit different. This is kind of how I used to make it in Tuscany, so they have their way of doing it. People in Tuscany, they're super, super passionate about like the Chianti cow anyway. So that's usually what you're always making it out of. Here, I don't have that, but all you do is you try and find a really good quality beef. Like, you wanna make sure there's 20%, 15% fat in there. That's kind of like the key with this, good quality beef. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this stuff out, but you gotta start this with a little bit of garlic, carrots, onion, and fennel. I'm not gonna, dice this. You can dice it if you want to get fancy, but I usually just grab the old box grater. Don't try to impress anybody. So, 1 carrot. Oh. I wonder if you can do this with an onion. Let's see what happens. So let's grate an onion. Does that work? Is it working? Cool. Hey, now we know. You can do this. Can we grate everything? Can everything just be grated? The box grater. This is killer. I can't believe I've never done this before. It looks a little sloppy. That's okay though. Whatever. I wonder if fennel, I don't want to do it to fennel. I like fennel too much. I have too much respect for fennel. Earlier I was just talking about how much I like it. So I'm not gonna box grate it. I like fennel too much. You can put in the fronds, like don't be like, just get it all in there, who cares? Like I said, I'm a professional. So we got some diced veg. I'll put a little bit more in there. This is gonna be like a stewed out sauce in the end. This is all just gonna come together, look at that. Like Neapolitan ice cream, but with vegetables. Keep it vegan. That was cool. Now I know some bolognese, people like to brown the meat, but I actually just don't do that. I like to sweat off the vegetables and I actually add the meat in afterwards. 1 clove of garlic. All right. A little bit of garlic and I like to start it with a little bit of pancetta. Take the skin off, always take the skin off. You could use bacon, but pancetta is just like, it's so much better. And it's such like an amazing base to a sauce like this. Then you get like, while you're eating it, you get the little like chunks of pancetta in it. So you get your pan on, your pot on right there, just like medium heat, just have it hanging out. That's how I just leave it. It never like, it won't like smoke or anything. Nice medium heat. By the time you're ready to use it, it's good to go. We're just gonna get a tiny bit of color on these bad boys. I'm not gonna put any oil just yet. Ugh. Just give it a second. Looks like it needs, I'll add a little bit of oil to it. Just to start it off. Olive oil. Also, if you have any stems left over from your basil, I always save these guys to put in there as well. Basil stems are always good to put in any kind of tomato sauce. There's always so much, like all these herbs, there's always so much flavor in the actual stems. Try to get them all as much as you can, just kind of flat onto the pan, so they're not like sitting on top of each other. You don't want to like overcrowd the pot. But that smells so nice. Like when you get like a real pancetta, its flavor is completely different to bacon. That's why I always tell people, if you can, if there's any like Italian store around, just like go get some pancetta. So there we go. So you can see these guys here, they all got some nice color on them. You don't want to go like super hard or anything like that. You just want to render out that fat, because there's so much flavor in that. So that looks pretty good to me. It's not all like perfect, but that's like, it's okay. Like, it doesn't really matter. We got like most of everything's going. You just don't want to overcook anything. So as usual, I'm just going to add in a little bit of garlic. Just, once again, we're over like a nice medium high heat. And you just want to get that garlic to begin to brown just slightly. As soon as you see one little bit of your garlic begin to brown, it means it's time to put in the rest of the veg. Cool, so I can see it, they're just starting to brown a little bit. So now we're just gonna throw in all of the veg, cut by the box grater. Wow. I mean, the onion is getting pretty wet like this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. That's just gonna have an amazing, I love that smell of pancetta and vegetables. Oh. So this is just gonna be the base for our sauce. If you want, you can turn up the heat a bit more now, just to get her going. I find you just spend so much time like waiting when you do these things. Like you're waiting for that to happen, you're waiting for that to happen. It's not one of those like where it's like lots of fast stuff going on all the time. Yeah. So now, you see the veg is nice and sweated out. You can see it's all become quite a bit more translucent. And you can see it's all just like kind of, it's not so fluffy anymore. It's all kind of flopped down to the bottom. You can see on the bottom, it's starting to actually like catch a tiny bit. Getting a little bit of caramelization going on. You can either just kind of keep working that out, but usually by the time some kind of a fond begins forming at the bottom, is usually when I think it's about time to pop in my red wine. So pretty much once you get to that point, you're gonna deglaze with, oh there it is, some red wine. Specifically, I always use Chianti for this. It's just like, Chianti just has that flavor, I don't know, like it translates so well into making a meat sauce. So we're gonna add, maybe just like a half cup or something like that. Maybe that was a cup, I don't know. So there you go, so it's gonna take all that off the bottom. Said some meat sauces, they get you to caramelize the meat before you actually put it in. But I've never really done that for the most part. We just add this in. And most of the caramelization takes place when you're cooking it in the oven. Break that bad boy down. So you just break it up. It'll kind of like set, then you just break it back up again. So this is about 3 pounds of beef. This is when the canned tomatoes. If you can't get those, look for Roma tomato. With stuff like this, it's not too salty at the moment. I'm gonna partially season it but you don't want to season it all the way. You can always add more, you can't take it away. But I like to like kind of half season it where I think it'll be, and then I like finishing it again at the end. Cool, so I'm just gonna pop these San Marzanos in. Uh-oh, some of them are still full. Pop those in. Now I don't really like, when it comes to my meat sauces, personally, I don't really like covering them with tomatoes, like tons of tomato sauce in them. I actually like it to be, the beef is kind of the main deal going on. You know, sometimes you get some meat sauces and it's just like tomato sauce mania. It's crazy, and it's just like, I don't know, it's like, it's too much, and I think it takes away from the beef itself. If you're spending all this time to like buy nice quality beef, you're buying nice quality tomatoes, you don't just want to like, you know, like just douse it all. Like they'll break down as well as this comes up to a simmer. Oh, they're baby Romas, so cute. So I think that's a good amount. Just let those bad boys stay in there, or crush them. I'm gonna crush them. Add that boy in, it's like a nice brown right now. It's a little bit, you know, a hue of red. And then, kind of the last key is I like putting a little bit of like white chicken stock. So you can like buy this just about anywhere. If you don't have chicken stock, you can just add water. It's like, it's not the end of the world, but a chicken stock really helps it. And you're pretty much just gonna reduce that chicken stock down while everything's braising out. Probably the last couple things I add to it is I like a bit of black pepper. If you ever can, if you're ever at the butcher's and you're grabbing this meat, you can always ask them, because you can usually even get it for free, is like a veal knuckle or something. Usually they have lots of bones kicking around, and I would just throw that knuckle right into the middle. I forgot it today, obviously. Salt. And now we get to wait again, just like before. We're just gonna spend a lot of time waiting now. So I forgot my eggplants in the oven a little bit longer. I did the old she'll be all right attitude, and I lost 2 of them. They're not very good. If they feel too crispy, actually, maybe those are even good. Those are good. I didn't screw it up. Ha! But you see, they've lost a lot of like their body and all that. They're kind of like just chilled. This is really hot. That's a really hot oven. But you just leave them all like that. Well, I burned the garlic. There we go. Nobody's gonna know. And there's the rest of them. Not burnt. That looks good. See at the bottom, they caramelize quite a bit. So they look a little different from this pile, that's for sure. They just lost that body. Eggplants are the shit. Everybody always like looks over eggplant. You can do so much with eggplant. You could just make an eggplant lasagna the whole way through. I bet you could fool a lot of people. Oh, so sad, so happy. So I'm gonna pop this guy now. See, I got this guy here. It's a nice full roll now. I'm gonna turn her down. I'm gonna pop this in the oven at like, maybe around like 150, 160 or something like that. I like just bringing it up all the way and then pop it in the oven. And that's actually going to caramelize the whole top, and it kind of cooks it from all sides. I don't put a lid back on because I actually want the sauce to reduce a bit. This is my favorite way for cooking most things, is I love just popping them in the oven. And then you don't have to worry about them so much. Pop it right in. And this is kind of nice because you can get this on a lot earlier in the day. Shut up. Like sometimes I'll put this on really early in the day, and then you can actually just leave it at an even lower temperature if you want, like 140 or maybe like 150 or something, and it'll slowly braise out over the course of like even 3 or 4 hours or something. So when it's kind of ready for dinner time. But yeah, I'm probably gonna leave it in there for maybe like 2 hours or something like that, and the sauce will just come down, the top will start to caramelize. It'll be really nice, and it'll be just the right consistency and all that. But in the meantime, I got some mozzarella, real mozzarella. You can usually get it. Traditionally, it is kind of shaped like this, looks like a snowman or something like that. So literally, just take your time. Let's see how this knife does with this. Sometimes what works best with mozzarella is a bread knife, especially when it's like that kind of floppy all over the place. Just like that. Even when it's like a sharp knife, this is my sharp knife, this is my bread knife. There you go. You don't push down on it, you just let the knife do the work. And that's probably, I think think maybe I will need 2 of these balls actually. Probably together, this is probably like 600, 700 grams worth of mozza. You almost want like the same amount. It's kind of like, you know, you got your pile of eggplant, you got your pile of mozzarella. A little bit of Parmesan on top. Ooh. Ah. All right, so it's been in there a couple hours now. It's slowly braised out, just like I said. So, whoa, Jesus, oh, you're a big boy. And then I mixed everything in together and I screwed it up for the shot, but that's okay. Wow. So, this is the best part about doing the lasagna all together, is actually building it. It's the funnest part after all the work's done. And you start with these pasta sheets. So usually you just buy some pasta sheets, you blanch them in the water first for like usually half the amount of cooking time that it says, and you bring them out and you just layer them on. But these ones are actually oven ready ones, which I didn't realize I bought until I got here, and I was like, oh, which makes it a lot easier for me. So I'm pretty happy that I accidentally bought these. Just check out the box, see what it says. But I like to start the bottom with lasagna, because it kind of like gives it like a nice little start. And I also like starting it, before I put anything else on, with some of the eggplant. It's just like a nice base for everything to start off. So once you have that bad boy on, I am going to ladle the sauce on. You just absolutely just cover these eggplants. Eggplants and beef are just such good friends. They always like hanging out together. So after that, we're gonna go mozzarella. This is just gonna wind up melting out all over the place anyway. And then I like throwing on a little bit, just to keep it green, spinach. It holds its green really well also, because there's just so much chlorophyll in it. So before I put the pasta sheets down this way, so now I'm gonna put them this way. 3 of these bad boys. And you push it all down. Ooh yeah, until it just starts coming out the other side. And I'm gonna put more of these bad boys. Maybe not that one. And there's only about like 2 eggplants will pretty much just get you 2 layers worth. I always find I make that first layer have quite a bit on it. And then after that, I wonder how many layers I can get in this bad boy. More of this. I was gonna put parsley on, but I'm not gonna put parsley on anymore. Forget that, rip it up. And now once again, with all my pasta sheets, I'm gonna start going this way again. Once again, push it down. You wanna get as much in here as possible. Wow, yes. We're pretty much getting right to the top now. We're almost there. And I want to get one last thin layer of meat sauce. See, it doesn't look like a lot. Once you actually start pushing it down, push it down. So we're just getting to the top now. Just a little, you don't need a lot. Because you don't want this to go over the edges, but you definitely don't want to fill it up too much. All right, so next, I'm gonna just add this guy on top. This is where I like to tear it up and make it a little bit smaller, because we're gonna top it with Parmesan. Now we've pretty much made it to the top. See, the mozzarella is already starting to melt because it's such a good quality mozzarella. And now you just fucking top it with some GRANA PADANO. And there we go. So this is just gonna melt down. Maybe if you need to, put a little tray underneath it, just in case anything does kind of flow over. It won't just go to the bottom of your oven and then you wind up having to clean that up. So I'm gonna put it in the oven at just at like 170, 180 or something like that. And it'll take maybe on convection, it'll probably take half an hour or something like that. But I mean, you'll know when it's ready because the top will just be like all caramelized and looking like really nice. That's pretty much how you'll know it'll be done. You can pop it out. So yeah, now we just have a go at it and see when it's gonna be done. All right, cool. I think it's ready. I can smell it. I can hear it. Look at this sweet baby. Fuck yeah.
That looks so dope. Ugh. This is how I love lasagna. It's just cooked just right. You're kind of just bringing the heat all the way back through it, so all the cheese melts and all that. And there we go. So that's pretty much it. That is my super duper lasagna. Maybe we should just call it that. Super duper lasagna. All right, here we go. We're going in. The moment of truth. Feels good, feels firm. Feels crispy, feels firm, feels soft, it feels everything. Maybe I should do this side. I'm gonna do this side because it's closer to you guys. Look at you, you sweet baby. Let's just get that paper off there. That'll help. Look at that. Oh, I know. How high can I go? Ah! Oh, no. That's good. If you can get that far away, you're sweet. Look at it. It looks like the cover of a Goosebumps book. Looks amazing. Ah! Yes. How bloody good. Ah. And we'll just use that mozzarella to garnish the top. Normal day off, lasagna, everything you need, it's in there. Forget about it, sit down, that's it, done. So there we go. My personal favorite, big boy lasagna, featuring the unsung hero, eggplant, tomato, bolognese, mozzarella, basil, and a crispy crunch on top. No, this tastes banging. You can taste the caramelized parmesan on top. You can get the eggplant, the beef, the cheese. It's nice when everything works together, but it's also separate. You can actually still kind of individually taste everything, but everything also makes sense together. I'm very happy with myself. I haven't made a lasagna in a very long time. Done, baby. Peace out.